Now I wanted to talk about early season evening hunting and the priority of evening hunting. A lot of people, boy, and I don't blame you, I've been there in the past where you're itching to get out to the tree stand, so you take that morning hunt and then you destroy that high quality evening hunt a lot of times in the morning in the early season. I'm not saying that you couldn't take advantage of a stand in the morning time, but a lot of times bucks are already back to their bedding area, and unless you have that perfect stand location for morning sit in the early season, you can often burn yourself out for 2 or 3 weeks because you're destroying that movement when you go in the morning, you're spooking deer, and then you don't have that high quality, predictable evening hunt where deer are back in their bedding areas, you know where they're at in their bedding areas, and you can easily get into a stand. And this is a good example right here. We have a camera right here. I'm actually putting a cell camera on here because I want to see these more regularly, especially as we're getting closer to the season. We're only about a month out, but we have this mock scrape. Chris B from Chris B Archery was out here and we set this up a while back. And I love this location because there's a big bedding area over on this side behind the camera. And we're gonna walk into a stand over here that relates to this movement, and I'll show you why we're hunting. But we're getting good movement here morning and evening. Right now we're coming in with the Kubota. You know, we're coming in here, we're shooting video, we're changing cards, cameras, and it's mid-August, and we're about 4 weeks out, so we're going to slow down this activity considerably here over the next couple weeks. We'll come in with a quiet cat and just leave it up here in the brush when we're coming in here in the evening. It's about a 2-mile ride from the house. We'll get back in here and come back here quietly. Deer will have no clue we're coming in. We're getting this evening movement through here and morning. We're about 150 yards, 100 yards away from a 2-acre food plot strip. Back here, it's a new food plot, and so we have a lot of deer activity that's coming out of this and going into that food plot back over there. Very predictable in the evening time. Deer are hungry, they're thirsty, so they want to hit that brassica, high moisture content. They've been eating twigs and acorns all day and woody shrub tips, hardwood regeneration, briars, and they can't wait to go hit the green. So it's a very effective evening movement, and you just can't destroy it with the morning. Now, this is a stand we could actually try to hunt in the morning. We can come in here from the side, we can sneak in through the woods, we can sit in here, and that would be a great rut stand for morning hunting as it gets later into the season. In fact, I can't wait to sit here for morning hunting. It'll be perfect stand. We expect a lot of cruising activity through here. I'm so much tempted to come in here in the morning, opening day, or one of those first few days, and let those deer come back to us. But again, we have that chance of spooking a deer on the way in the morning, and this is very predictable in the evening for evening movements. So I think we're gonna leave this alone. It'll be the perfect evening hunt in the early season. We can sneak right in here. We're actually coming through, this is wide open, deer aren't bedded right here, real close in the afternoon. So we're going to sneak in here 3 to 4 hours before, I'd say 4 hours before dark, and get in the stand. And then we have this perfect stand over here for not only as it relates to the deer movement, but more importantly, where we can blow our scent in the evening and expect to not see any deer downwind of our stand location. I believe as long as our legs are clean coming in here and that we keep this vegetation low right here, this is actually going to turn into a hunting food plot surrounded by switchgrass for 150 yards that way. Just a small hunting plot pass through. This will be in the extreme corner of it. But we could walk right through here, right through the food plot. We can walk through this low vegetation we're going to kill for frost-eating switchgrass. And then we can get into the stand location right over here. And we're not leaving a scent trail because we have clean boots, are treated with the Elimishield we use. We have clean clothes, we've laundered them in the Elimishield laundry soap. And whatever you're doing to keep your clothes clean, your boots clean, you can do that. And that's where I feel that you can effectively eliminate your scent coming in here to at least a level where the deer really don't care about. But once we're on stand, we need to make sure there's no deer downwind of us, because it doesn't matter how clean our clothes are or what kind of machine we're using, scent contraption, whatever it is, we're going to be spooking deer downwind of us if the wind's blowing that way. The evening thermals are going to settle over here. We have the perfect stand location, and let's walk in there and take a look at it. I'm super excited about this. My buddy Rich helped me hang it up. We were working together a couple weekends ago on our properties, and so we'll head into here. And even right now, if Dylan can pan down here, you can see the drop off we have down here. It's significant. Goes down to the bottom about 200 feet in elevation here, maybe 250. It's a long ways down, and that steep grade defines where deer move, where they don't move, and certainly where we can blow our scent. So let's go check out this stand location. Hey, sorry to interrupt this video, but my web class series is finally begun. How to design your whitetail property is on my website, and there's a link in the description. Please check it out. So this stand location right here represents the perfect evening stand for early season. We can come in right over here through an area of open woods, in an area where we're not accessing through woods or by bedding area, and get into the stand location. Now I love the stand location because we have a severely steep drop off down behind, and it's not just the drop off down behind us, it's that it actually goes down and then comes back up very quickly on the other side. And so we're in a position where deer don't bed down there, they're kind of cornered in, but left to right in front of me and in front of the stand, there's a lot of movement. In fact, we have a trail coming from where the mock scrape is up there where we first started, and we have a trail right here on this lower bench. They come together and then deer exit out in this direction. So it makes it a highly defined movement. They're coming from bedding areas this way, and you can see the terrain changes a lot through here, but they're coming from the side here, the side movement, and they're just moving through this woods, coming around the elevation change, and they're heading to that food plot and then slipping out to the ag fields after dark. Really easy spot for us to slip in. What's cool about this is we're about 100 to 150, probably 150 yards now to 175 yards from the actual food plot and where they're hitting in the evening. That puts us into a window right here where if that mature buck is wary to move during the daylight and he's not getting to that food plot till right at dark or a half hour, it's not to say he's on someone else's property or that he's a great distance away. What it is saying is that he's moving. He's probably moving here in full daylight and he's just not getting over there until right at darkness or just a little bit after. So this is a very safe window where we could catch the oldest buck in the neighborhood moving through here in the early season. And it's not, we're not waiting right on that food plot. And a lot of hunters make the mistake in the early season. They go sit on that food plot over there and they spook deer out on that first sit. Maybe they get that big buck they're after, maybe they don't. But that sit is ruined because if you're spooking deer over there, that means they're not getting to this location till right at dark. And that puts that mature buck a long ways away from here, or even does he even relate to the movement after it's been spooked out after that. So we have easy access in the evening. And what's cool about this is if the deer are going this way past us and going towards that food plot, then we can easily get out the direction they came from towards their bedding areas. And we do that a lot in the evenings where we would never walk through those bedding areas during the daylight hours. But after the deer pass us by and that last deer is gone, we don't hear anything, then we'll slip out right through here, not necessarily through their bedding areas, but we're definitely getting out in a different direction, almost like a U. We come in on the top side, come down to the stand, and then we slip out through the back side where we don't expect to see any deer. So very, very safe in the early season, and that's what it's all about. You have to practice a safe approach in the early season and a safe sit. The season is very long. This is a marathon, not a sprint, and we're looking to preserve this movement for a long time because we'll be able to capitalize on this during the October lull, during a nice cold front, feeding front, into the pre-rut, the peak rut, post-rut, and well beyond. This is a great movement through here. And we need to make sure that we're managing our sits going into the future, especially in the early season. This is a great early season sit, great evening hunt, because we can blow our wind right down this side. We have pretty clean air coming from this direction. What that means is it's not hitting a giant hillside or anything. So we're gonna get good winds to move this way. Closer it gets to dark, about a half hour, 45 minutes when those temperatures are changing, it's going to force those winds down into that steep cut and steep draw where we don't expect any deer in the evening time. And that gives us not only a safe approach where we can come in here scent free, not leave a scent trail coming in because we're managing the scent on our legs and our boots. We're making sure we're tucking our pants into our boots so the scent's going up, not down on the ground and saturating with every step. And then we can have a safe sit because we're managing our wind on the stand, regardless of what we smell like, our upper body. If we haven't showered in days, if we're smoking a pipe, whatever we want to do, that wind can go down there. It's not going to bother a deer. And then we can get out here after dark and preserve that movement continually. And you can bet if we have a big buck up there, I want to stick a cell camera on there right now because I want to see, we've identified that's a fall movement. We know why it's a fall movement. When bucks come through here, we know which trails they're traveling on because we've identified that during the summertime, trying to recognize actual fall movements, and then we can stick a cell camera on there and let us know what bucks are moving that in the early season. And this is a stand we can kill them from. And I'm not saying it's that easy, but at the same time, we're putting all the pieces together to make it easy, and we're gonna be able to hunt safe. These trails through here are outstanding. You can see some of the old rubs right here on these trees, but these trails right here, they all come together to form that X movement right here. We have another one that comes right here at the base of the tree that goes to the old telephone pole rub that I found scouting during turkey season. But we have these trails coming through here like crazy. It's nice because there's not a lot of weed debris, sticks and garbage. So when we come here with clean pants, we can weave our way through on this dirt, get right to the stand. Again, it's open here up above. That's where we're accessing from. We're just cutting the corner of this woods like all the deer are. That's why they're here on this flat bench. A bench meaning that almost like a giant could sit here with its legs going down the steep face. They can sit here. They're moving through here. We have to stand here to watch them move through on this flat. Because of the elevation change, this would be no different than if that was an open cow pasture out there and it was flat. You can blow your scent into it, or a neighborhood, or a pond, or a railroad right away, whatever it might be that you could blow your scent, a factory, that you could blow your scent into, a golf course where you're not going to expect to spook deer. This is a safe early season evening hunt. Again, this will be a great morning hunt as we get into the rut in this location, but we can't afford in the early season to bump deer out of here in the morning. Especially if the cameras are showing and we're getting great movement up to that food plot in the evening. This is a slam dunk where we can sit in here and watch this movement safely. And really, when it comes to the early season and an evening hunt priority, the reason you're placing a priority on the evening is because it's a safe hunt. You can really take advantage of those early season movements. I hope you do this fall. I hope this hunting strategy for the early season makes sense, but you really need to focus on these evening priority sits and not spook them out in the morning. And I think that you'll be on track for, or that buck that's actually moving through here, give yourself a chance this deer hunting season this fall.